welcome to another edition of After the Whistle. We are about a week away from Thanksgiving, and November has come and gone.
This is the first time in my life time is flying by.
Bruh.
Like ever. You know me, time don't fly by, but just because of this pandemic, sit in the house, it being like Groundhog Day, just so repetitive.
Yeah, and then I was heading to the gym the other day, try to get a COVID test, so I drive by English, because that's where I usually go, and there was a line stretched around the corner.
Oh, man.
And even everywhere, I went to other locations too, it was just long lines, and I'm just like, what is with all these long lines? I'm watching the news today, come to find out, people are planning on gathering for Thanksgiving.
Oh, so they're getting like pre-tested before?
Yeah. But they're going to have to get tested again afterwards. But yeah.
I mean, I don't disagree with the whole gathering for Thanksgiving, because my family, there's only like 6 of us that get together for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So like, to me, it's like not that many people, and we're definitely always been 6 feet apart anyway. So like, for me, it's normal, but for others, people just don't know. People have an issue with just not being on top of each other during the holidays, and I don't understand why. You should realize that your life is more important than a festive night.
Yeah, I've gotten 3 COVID tests already. Now they've been negative, and just goes to show you wearing masks and staying home actually works. For some reason, some people find it very complicated, but it works.
And we have people that have a hard time not touching things.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you, going to the supermarket with my dad, he was a big believer in you break it, you buy it. So my hands either stayed by my side or in my pockets as a kid in the supermarket. Yeah. So like, I'm not and like, germs are everywhere. So who wants to be touching everything that everybody and their mom done touched?
I think I saw the best meme today. It said, you know those memes that go out, could you live in the woods for $1 million without like anybody, no electricity, no nothing? And it said, half of y'all just proved y'all can't, because y'all can't even stay in your house for 5 days.
Like,
I'm like, this is like the most perfect meme ever.
And honestly, it's good to get away from just everything. You know what I mean? Just chilling your own little solid confinements and just thinking, start, brewing up some ideas. And who knows what might come out of it.
Yeah, definitely. So, social distance, people. It works. And wear your masks. Just wear a mask. It's not that hard. Well, you know who's not having a hard time getting wins the past 2 weeks? The Pats. And I don't want to, I went hard on them after the 49ers game, but I think all that post-COVID stuff they're really starting to, actually play like they were earlier, like the first couple of weeks. They actually, these past couple games, they actually starting to play like the team we thought, they might be a playoff team.
Yeah, and I feel, I always feel the expectations are too high for the Pats just because of who they once were. Yeah. And they're running the ball. For
non-reasonable people.
Yeah, for non-reasonable people. They're running the ball way more than they have been, which is a good thing. Just like Minnesota, they're realizing that their strength is in the run, because Cam's still getting accustomed to the offense. He's still getting accustomed to playing in New England. It's not easy going from Carolina to playing in New England. It's cold 90% of the time out here. You know what I mean? Like,
and the offense is built around you.
Yeah, like,
and what I like, because those like 3 games, like there was that 3-game stretch, he couldn't even pass. He was like short arming little 5-yard passes. They weren't even reaching receivers. Now you're seeing he's getting to the receivers, 5-10 yards. He's actually connecting on those passes that they weren't connecting on earlier in the last 3 games. Now he's connecting more, and they playing mistake-free football. Another game, no turnovers.
Yeah, that too. And I feel like it's a lot easier to play after you had that little skid and you start winning. I feel like he knows that New England is kind of behind him.
Yeah.
We're more willing to deal with his mishaps than Brady's mishaps, because we know that Cam has to get acclimated to this system. And it might also be nerves too. It could also be nerves. It's playing in a whole new situation. We are definitely some of the hardest fans to deal with in the United States of America. So
there's people that want him benched for Jarrett Stidham still, and I don't understand the love for Jarrett Stidham. I really don't. Well, I do, but that's something completely different. I don't want y'all to, but and I think after that Buffalo game, he was really, because he knew he messed up. Like the way you could just see from his reaction that game, post game. He was just upset because they had the opportunity, and he fumbled, and that he took that to heart.
And some guys also wear that heart in their sleeve. Cam's an emotional guy, so like I think it's easy to play when the fans are completely behind you. Like Carolina, they was always behind Cam.
Yeah. Also, when you're a football prodigy and everything's so easy to you, when you mess up, it's just like, damn, I really just lost the team the game, and but they definitely bounced back, and I just liked how the way they've been playing, is offensively and defensive. Well, defensively they're playing typical New England, bend but don't break. They look like the Ravens. If you watch the game, you thought they did well, but they stopped their rushing attack. That was the most important thing. They had 115 yards rushing, but they averaged 164 in the season, and they usually average 5.3 yards per carry, and the Patriots defense only held them to 4.1, and they didn't give them no crazy breakaway runs like Lamar Jackson or any of those running backs usually do. So I just I like how they've been playing. They beat the Jets they were supposed to. This is a playoff team. They beat them, and I've been saying this for a while. These guys have been in every single game that they've played in -1, and every team that they've beaten has a winning record, and are probably going to be in the playoffs. So I know it was hard. I know I went hard on them after that 49ers game. Not as hard after the Bills game, but after the 49ers game. But these guys, right now, they're 4-5. Before I thought this stretch, they probably was going to win 2 games. Now, the way that they're playing, I'm looking at it. I'm like, they could come out of this. They could come out of this 7-5, and have a very good chance to make the playoffs. And even they still got a chance at the division, because I think they've got 2 division wins. 2 division wins, and they got a couple more division games. So.
Yeah, man, I like what the Pats are doing, and I do not like what the Ravens are doing. Just because they made it easy for the Pats just to cover Lamar Jackson. Once again, you have to get another running back in there to make it easy for Lamar, and he did not. And like I said, I like what the Pats are doing with running the ball, 11 rushing first downs. Yeah, which we need more of that, just because it'll keep the drives alive and keep Cam healthy.
Yeah, and with the Cam's 11 carries, most of them were for short yardage. Was him, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, because he's 6'6". So.
But see, there's nothing wrong with 11 carries when you have your running back in 22. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you had Lamar with 11 carries, and who had more than that? He was their leading carrier, which is a problem.
Yeah, they was trying to and then the rain came right at the last drive, so any chance the Ravens had of winning the game, it got a lot harder when the rain came, because they just couldn't get nothing going. It's raining, and nobody likes to play in the rain. But Damian Harris, he's gonna be the starting running back. Sony Michel, you don't have to find a way to get some carries, because Damian Harris, every time he touches the ball, good things happen.
I was thinking before the show started that every year 1 or 2 plays breaks out, and I'm thinking Damian Harris might be the one for the Pats. Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. 3 games. This is his 3rd game of the season without rushing for 100 yards, and it's just positive yards every time he touches the ball. And then when they switch up guys, it's just positive plays after they establish the run with him.
And that's also what I mean about the Pats kind of figured it out, because they were so worried about Cam and the receivers. Yeah. Not realizing that the run game might be the key to open things up for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, man, the craziest game, the craziest ending on Sunday, Bills and Cardinals. And when I watched that, I was because I almost just left, because after the Bills scored, I'm like, there was 30 seconds left. I was like, I'm about to just...
Bro, that's what I did.
So I was just like, you know what, let me just stick this out. Let's see what happens. And when he caught that, I couldn't believe it. And I just couldn't believe it.
You know what I call that, man? Best receiver in football, baby.
Man, definitely the Texans, Deshaun Watson's probably mad watching
probably
that.
Probably mad.
But, yeah.
What you mean? That's like his probably best friend on the team.
He probably got a cut out of Bill O'Brien being a Bill O'Brien.
But also too, man, I don't understand what the Bills are doing this game. Their coaches are playing with Allen like it's Madden. You run the ball 18 times, come on, bro. For 73 yards, and you're getting 4.1 yards a carry. You probably should have ran the ball 25, 30 times and try to relieve Allen. Because once again, Allen's been balling, and they're gonna put more pressure on Allen.
49 passes, and he had the Josh Allen experience. He'll throw something to you. You just got to catch it. And there was at least 3 or 4 interceptions that were dropped, because he could have ended this game with 5 interceptions, and there were a few that were dropped.
That's why I'm disappointed in the Bills, because it's you're playing this man like he's Brady. Like only one Brady. I'm sorry, like there's only one.
And their running game was, they usually have a good running game. Their running attack has been great all season. So I don't understand anything but that. I mean, the Bills came down, crazy play. That was a nice play from Allen to Diggs because if Diggs didn't catch it, nobody else would catch it. He threw one of those like only my receiver's going to catch it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But the Hail Mary, the catch was impressive, but Murray to just elude the rushers and then just align his body to make that throw. That's not easy because you're running. Then you gotta strain yourself out to make that throw. That's on the move too. That's when that baseball skills come in.
I was gonna say he's pitcher, right?
I think so.
Shortstop.
Probably short.
Well, he's a skilled thrower.
Yeah.
So we'll just say that he's definitely professional in the art of throwing.
Yeah. And then the defenders too. There was at that point you got to try to bat the ball down because they were trying to intercept it, and you're taught knock it down. And for him to do that on 3 people, that's
Hopkins.
Yeah, man. Hey, Collins said, I know Hop down there somewhere. Sometimes that's just what you got to do. But for Murray, he's had some. He reached some accolades this past game, so he's the first quarterback to rush for a touchdown in 5 consecutive games. The record is 6 by some guy named John Lujak in 1950. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I wasn't even a thought of.
Leather helmets, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's on pace to break Cam Newton's record for most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback with 14. That was like in 2010. Okay. Cam got like 8 or 10 rushing touchdowns himself. He's about to break his own record too.
He might.
Yeah, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last 3 games, and he also joined Cam as only quarterbacks with 6,000 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards in first 25 games, and their division is wide open too. The NFC West, they got a matchup with the Seahawks, and it's they have a good chance of winning it. And also on Josh Allen, he joined Dak Prescott and Deshaun Watson as only players with 20 touchdowns and 5 rushing touchdowns in consecutive season, and he's also the 4th quarterback with 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown reception in the game. Which Josh Allen, he's a good quarterback to watch, but he's also that quarterback that those quarterbacks, they're great, but like Brett Favre. I'm not saying he's like gonna be like Brett Favre,
no,
but Brett Favre. Great Brett Favre is. He's gonna give you at least 4 or 5 that you could take the other way. So, the Bills 73 right now. They got a bye week, so if the Patriots keep winning, they just keep up pace with them. A team that's still undefeated, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Big Ben. We got to talk about him in the MVP conversation because he had himself quite the game with his second straight 300-yard games, and hasn't thrown an interception in 3 straight games. They are balling.
Yeah, both sides of the ball, they're balling.
Yeah.
When you hold the Bengals to 0-13 and third down, what were they like 2-4 and 4?
Yeah.
But 0-13 and third downs, I didn't really write any other stat down because I knew the game was over. Like, this is kind of pointless. And when you're only rushing the ball 21 times, talking about the Bengals, and you're getting 6.6 yards a carry, why wouldn't you continue that to relieve your rookie?
But when you fall deep. When you fall into a hole, it's like they panic and avoid running the ball.
But it's like your rookie's not gonna really bring you to the promised land. He hasn't been around long enough, so you got to try to eat it up on the field and try to get a breakout or 2. You know what I mean?
They could, but it's just on this one. It was just my talent is better than your talent. We're more physical than you guys. I mean, T. Higgins had himself quite the game. He was the only bright spot for the Bengals, but they couldn't stop T.J. Watt. They couldn't stop that pass rush, and it was just a nightmare for the Bengals. And
0-13 on third downs.
Yeah,
game's over.
Also, Burrow the past 2 games, he was completing 70% of his passes, and he went from 70 to 52. That's quite the drop.
But even for a rookie, go 21 for 40, 213, 1 TD, no intos. You know what I mean? For him, one thing I'm impressed with Burrow, even though they're losing, he's not throwing interceptions like that. That's the only thing with him. He values the ball.
He didn't really do that at LSU last year.
Because he's a legit quarterback. He's a smart guy.
And he had 8 All-Americans to throw the ball to, so it was just like...
Hey, when you're prepared, when you already played with pros in college, you already know how to handle it.
Pretty much. That's why his success early on right now is not a surprise, because I think half that team got drafted.
Because they're losing, but he's putting up some numbers.
he's making them interesting and has people excited to watch them, even though they won't win much games, but people want to see him play because he's just an exciting quarterback.
He's a hometown kid, right?
Yeah, he's
from. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like hitting the jackpot. Mm-hmm. But for the Steelers, they still undefeated and they still got that road to that number 1 seed. So they keep going this. If let me see their upcoming schedule. If there's a loss anywhere in there, which I think they got a matchup with the Ravens again coming up soon. The Ravens had a chance to beat them the first time, but we'll see. So the Bengals upcoming schedule, they got not the Bengals, the Steelers. They're at Jacksonville this weekend. Then they got the Ravens. Then they got the team from Washington. At Bills, at Bengals versus Colts, and they end the season at Browns. I mean, all of them winnable games.
I was gonna say I didn't see them really losing anybody in them.
Yeah,
the way they're playing.
Yeah. But they're gonna lose. They're probably gonna lose to a team we don't expect them to lose to, and that'll probably be Washington.
Honestly, yeah, I could see that though.
This always happens. Oh, Tua! The Tua show in Miami is it's working. It's working, man. And the Dolphins 5 straight victories.
Hey, I like how they don't have Tua playing outside himself. They know he's super talented, but they're slowly letting him come along. Have him throw the ball 25 times. That's perfect for him. Yeah. Especially he's so efficient.
Very.
And
accurate, too. Yeah. His accuracy is pinpoint. And I like that they're not letting him, he's not getting hit a lot. He's not, they're protecting him really well. They're just playing all around good football, offensively and defensively, especially the defensive side of the ball. They've really been top 10 defense the past.
They might be the surprise of the NFL, to be honest with you, because nobody,
Las Vegas.
I mean, my Raiders are always predicted to be all right, but nobody predicts Miami to be anything.
Yeah,
that's why I say the Dolphins, just because 6-3 or something.
6-3 right now.
Like I haven't picked them all year to win any games. I might be picking y'all in the next couple of weeks. But, so now you gotta have to think twice when you. Yeah, when you playing the Dolphins, man.
Definitely. I just like how they're doing it. I like what the coaches doing. Black head coaches. We got to support the black head coaches because their leash in the league is black head coach, black the black head coach, black GM. Like their leash in the league is but they're doing a good job as far as drafting players, developing players. Because we saw it last year too. The way they ended the season, they ended the season on a good note, and they started off 0-2, but 5 straight victories. It's not easy.
Not at all.
They've been playing. It's just I'm more impressed with their defense because their defense has been playing well, keeping them in the games, and they're not turning the ball over. They're running the ball. They're making plays. And hey, man, this is one of those teams.
Man, the NFL make me want to go buy Madden. all these good quarterbacks now, especially quarterbacks in color too, man.
Yeah, man. The league is in good hands with some of these young QBs.
Overall.
With Tua, he joins Carson Wentz 2016 as only rookie QBs to win first 3 starts without throwing an interception.
I'll be honest, there's too many stats, man. When I see Carson Wentz in the stat, I'm like, come on, man.
This is per NFL.
Yeah, the NFL. Come on, I don't want to see Carson Wentz in those stats.
Hey, man, they're about to. We'll get to that. He had a good rookie year.
But crickets after that.
Yeah, and they lost an offensive coordinator, and once they lost that offensive coordinator, he's been getting the blame. But the head coach, he's been getting. You see, when you win a Super Bowl, you get a lot of passes, and nobody criticizes you.
Especially depending where you win your Super Bowl.
Yeah, but this guy, Doug Peterson, I'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
All right, the Bucks, they bounced back. I mean, we both didn't pick them to win because they just didn't play well the past couple games, but they bounced back, and what do you know? I think people be listening to us. They had a nice balanced attack. 39 rushes, 37 passes, and Ronald Jones, he could have been in the doghouse earlier because he fumbled. He got a little fumbling problem that led to a touchdown, but that 98-yard touchdown run, he kind of redeemed himself with that.
Yeah, they just Debo'd these guys. Once again, 3rd downs, Carolina 1 for 9. You're not doing much when you can't continue to drive.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, man. Teddy's been playing all right throughout the season, but I feel like he's had an off game. He just wasn't himself.
Like, he plays well, but he just doesn't make the few plays needed to get a victory. That's the issue right now. Like you see in the first half, they had 17 points in the first half, and they only scored 6 in the second half. And they were being creative with the play calling. He was getting into the playmakers, getting to the receivers who could run and get yards after the catch. So I don't know what happened in the second half, and he missed some throws too. So
he's also missing his best weapon. Which is McCaffrey,
who probably won't be around for a while.
And Davis, 7 carries. He needs way more touches than that. At least 14 to 20 if you're gonna try to get him involved in the game.
Yeah, they was just out of sync in the second half. It just I don't know. It was different. The game plan from the first half to the second half really was like two different teams because they came out there and you're just like, y'all just went away from everything y'all were doing well, and then you gave this defense that you were moving the ball on. You gave them confidence, and after that, they was just teeing off and getting to the quarterback. 3 sacks, a lot of pressures, and then Teddy got hurt.
Man, you look at this. You look at these stats, man. They just completely just bulldoze over these guys, trampled all over them.
Yeah,
especially when you have 30 more plays than your opponent. Like, there's not much fight left.
And for the Bucks, if you look, I'm looking at the receiving. Like Brady distributed the ball. Chris Godwin had 6. Mike Evans had 6 catches. Antonio Brown had 7 catches. Gronk had 2, but they were 2 big plays. I mean, even Cameron Brate, he had 3 receptions. So he was targeting his best receivers, his 3 best receivers. Mike Evans had 11 targets. Chris Godwin had 6, and Antonio Brown had 8. So he's targeting the guys that he needs, the playmakers that he needs, for the end of the season. Because that game against the Saints, it was just like, you get beat down like that. That's when you gotta do some soul searching.
Yeah. Or you just throw that tape away and move on.
That too. I got to do both. But they got another tough matchup coming up with the Rams. The Rams, quietly, they're a good team. It's just the quarterback. The quarterback is setting them back. Their defense is playing out of his mind, but Jared Goff, man, that dude, he need to get it together.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Goff this season, but some people have. It's like his 3rd year, right?
Nah, it's like his 5th.
5th? Jeez. Yeah. All right, I don't know what to say about that then. Yeah, I can't help you there.
Oh, man. All right, so the 49ers broke Drew Brees' ribs. I think he's got fractured ribs. He's got a collapsed lung. All I'm saying is Jameis was in the game, and I was excited because I like to see Jameis on the football field just because I don't know what I'm going to get, but I know it's going to be entertaining. Jameis, he didn't do nothing crazy. He played well. They got to protect him, but this is going to be an interesting one for the Saints now that Brees is gone. He's going to be gone for a little while. Well,
it's the 2nd year Brees was injured, and if Jameis plays well, you really have to reevaluate what you're going to do with Brees overall. If you're going to retire him, you're going to let him go test the waters, I guess. If I'm Brees, I'm just going to hang it up. If, this is my last year. But it's like, man, your ribs are breaking. We never even heard about you getting these type of injuries, man. You're just getting older, man. You can't take these hits anymore. Like, you're one of the... He's like the greatest, passing yards... ever. Yeah. So, man, you have some great accolades. You're gonna be a Hall of Famer. Man, just.
And we saw last year when he went down and Teddy Bridgewater came in. Teddy was playing out of his mind. It could have kept him in for the entirety of the season.
You can go back to all them videos about me. You know how I felt about it.
Yeah. Oh, but man. He got 5 fractured ribs on both sides of his bodies.
Oh, so his whole rib cage is torn up. Yeah. Oh man, sit down, man. You can't even breathe. Man, sit down.
And the play that he got the play that happened, they gave the dude. They threw a flag on the dude that sacked him. And if you watch that replay, you guys are throwing a flag on that because he sacked him, but he laid him to the side. The NFL rules, you can't remember what Reggie White
moved him.
He just sacked, but he was on the side. And ended up landing on. He let the defender landed on his side, on his own side. And Drew Brees landed on his side too, so it was they called a flag for that. They got this NFL rule. You can't do what Reggie White used to and just lay your whole body on a quarterback. But,
Reggie White was a problem.
It was terrible. But, Jameis is in. So, I want to see Jameis these next few games to end the season for the Saints, but I still don't understand why they keep doing this Taysom Hill experiment, putting him at quarterback, taking the starting quarterback out to put him in just to run a gadget play. I honestly don't get it.
I would understand it if he actually threw the ball. But every time you see him come in the game, it's a stupid old little. It's not even like a cool option, pass option. It's just like a HD drive or something.
He's on
counter,
like if he passes, it's rare that he passes, but
it's very rare.
Yeah, it's always a pass, and this is the same dude. The coach is talking about he might be our future quarterback. Like, then use him as a quarterback.
Man, I don't honestly. I think people like Jameis just to be in the NFL, but some guys just don't want to make him their guy.
Yo, we believe in you, Jameis.
I like Jameis. That's the guy.
You're entertaining to me. The most entertaining one was your glass half full analogy. Oh my gosh. He said, what did he say? He said even the glass is still full. It may be half full with water, but it's also half full with air. You gotta watch that clip. I'm paraphrasing, but
I kind of live by the glass. My glass is always half full.
He said half. He said the rest is full.
And I totally understand, but
we gonna go to Craig. Craig with the Fantasy No Huddle. We'll be back.
What up, everybody, and welcome to No Huddle here on After the Whistle. It's your boy Craig here for my DraftKings picks of the week. Gonna start it off strong with the quarterback position, and I like Kirk Cousins this week. Kirk Cousins actually had a big week this past week, and you know me, I don't really think people double up that often, but he's going up against Dallas, one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Dallas did have a good outing before the bye week defensively, but I don't think they're going to hold that up this week against Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. I think the Vikings defense is going to get him off the field early and often. They don't have a quarterback. It's going to be bad. Kirk Cousins is going to get all the opportunities in the world. With that being said, with Kirk Cousins' opportunity also comes Dalvin Cook. I don't really like to spend big bucks on a single position, but Dalvin Cook is a monster. He's a beast, and he's going to shred this Dallas defense apart. And hopefully some of those come from pass catches and not just handoffs in the backfield. And I spent such a big amount of money on Dalvin Cook. I had to go a little cheaper on my second running back, and I went with Antonio Gibson, which I think is 100% worth his price in gold. His weight in gold, I mean. This dude has been performing, especially in the red zone. He's getting his yards. I think he's better than anybody could have anticipated. I feel like people end up, like me, leave him on their bench for bigger name players, and sometimes he outperforms those guys. Gibson has been probably one of the more consistent running backs, I think, this season, especially after the first couple weeks. For my first wide receiver, once again, I spent a lot of money on my on my running back, so I had to spend a little less as I go through the following positions. But Deontay Johnson going up against the Jacksonville, his low price tag makes his value skyrocket. A lot of weapons on that team, but Deontay Johnson seems to be the most talented at getting open. So I think he's going to have a lot of yardage. Might only score once, but I think he's going to get the yards he needs to get him to get you into that win. Then I have Fulgham. Fulgham's going up against Cleveland. I think this is going to be a really nice matchup between these two teams. I think they're going to be airing the ball out a lot. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think it's going to be entertaining. And what I'm hoping for is a lot of offense and not much defense. Fulgham has been doing pretty well. A little bit off, a little bit on. Wasn't so much on this past week. I'm expecting him to go off this week against Cleveland. And then for my final wide receiver, I had spent so much money on all my other positions that I had to spend the least on my third wide receiver. And I went with Hightower from from Philadelphia, playing next to Fulgham. I feel like this is going to be that sleeper guy, and I don't feel like it, but I'm hoping for it because I had to pick one of the lower price guys at this position, and I think that he is going to be the guy who maybe gets one of those one or two red zones, kind of like how Marquise Valdez-Scantling did last week, catching 2 touchdowns. I think Hightower could do that this week against Cleveland. In the tight end position, I've been playing this guy out 3 weeks in a row, and only one of the weeks was he successful. But I'm going against matchups. Tight end position is one of those positions where it's literally a roll of the dice unless you have Travis Kelce. If you don't have Travis Kelce or Darren Waller, you're literally just rolling the dice and hoping that at some point in time in the end zone, the quarterback looks in their direction. And Eric Ebron did have a fantastic hurdling touchdown. I'm hoping that maybe he'll get some more looks into the red zone and score me 1 or 2 tutties. And then in the flex position, I went with Mike Davis. CMC, Christian McCaffrey, he is out another week. I know if you have him on your team, it's the biggest disappointment of the season. He goes out for 7 weeks after only playing 2 weeks. He goes out for 7. He comes back. He has a monster performance. Gets hurt at the end of the game. Now he's missing 2 more weeks. Not going to get to use him until possibly week 12. Bye week 13. That's not helping anybody. So Christian McCaffrey's a huge disappointment. Mike Davis has been filling in quite nicely for him. Going up, I forgot who they're going up against, but they have a favorable matchup. Should be good for him. And then finally in the defense, Miami Dolphins defense has been playing like some dogs. They got the best cornerback duo in the NFL. I'm liking them a lot going up against Denver, so we'll see how that goes. So once again, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson, Fulgham, Deontay Johnson, Hightower, Ebron, Mike Davis, and the Dolphins. Until next week, I'll see you on No Huddle. Back to After the Whistle.
We are back. I still can't get over him saying, Jameis saying that. Oh my gosh, better than eating W's. Sports update with me. Sports update with me and Len, and we'll come back to talk the NBA.
Good afternoon and welcome to another segment of New England Sports Scores and Updates. I'm Mia Len, and today I'll be breaking down the latest in the sports world over the past week. To start us off, the Boston College Eagles fell to the undefeated Fighting Irish of Notre Dame at Alumni Stadium this past Saturday. The final score was 31-45. Phil Dracovic threw for 272 yards and 2 touchdowns against his former team, while Travis Levy rushed for 51 yards. The team will look to bounce back after this loss as they prepare to host Louisville on the 27th of November. In golf news, Dustin Johnson won the Masters this past weekend at Augusta National. The number 1 golfer secured the title just a month after testing positive for the coronavirus. He made history by becoming the only player to reach and finish 20 under in a Masters, as well as the first number 1 ranked golfer to win the Masters since Tiger Woods did in 2002. The wait for the next Masters will be shorter than its usual time period, as it'll happen at its usual time next year in April. In Ivy League news, the conference has decided to cancel winter sports for the 2020-21 season due to the coronavirus pandemic, marking them as the first Division I conference to make this decision. The league has also postponed spring sports until at least the end of February. We're also seeing some parallels between now and March, as the Ivy League was the first conference to cancel their men's and women's conference tournaments due to the pandemic back then. Enrolled student athletes will still be able to participate in athletic training opportunities and practices as long as each institution's procedures and state and local regulations allow for that. Additionally, winter and fall student athletes will not lose a season of eligibility for the Ivy League or NCAA, regardless of their decision to enroll or not. Lastly, the UMass Amherst men's basketball program has put a pause on all team activities as a result of a positive COVID-19 test within their Tier 1 personnel. This Tier 1 personnel includes coaches, athletes, team managers, and support staff. UMass Athletic Director Ryan Bamford tweeted on Tuesday, quote, "Tough news today. We will be up and running as soon as it is safe to do so." The team will now not be able to take part in the multiple team event at Mohegan Sun that was scheduled to start next week. That's all I've got for now. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week for another segment of New England Sports Scores and Updates. Now back to After the Whistle.
All right, and we are back. Thank you, Mia, for that. Okay, let's get into the NBA. My goodness, there's a lot going on. NBA draft is tonight.
What time?
I think 8.
Oh, I've been watching it all morning. I haven't had it on mute because I've been in class, but watching TV at the same time.
Yeah, it's the NBA draft is tonight. Right now, Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball are gonna be the first either one of them are going to be the first overall pick. James Wiseman might be going to the Warriors, but the Warriors are thinking about making a trading that pick, going down a little bit. The Knicks, they moved up. They acquired the number 23 pick from the Jazz. So the Knicks are trying to make moves. A lot of stuff happening. Then we got the saga with the Rockets and people wanting to leave and people wanting to team up. First, Russell Westbrook requested a trade because he just didn't want to play with his boy anymore because it's hard playing with Harden. And Harden also requested a trade to go team up with Durant and Kyrie in Brooklyn. And if that happens, that will be the most entertaining thing ever because that will be so hilarious and such a disaster. Disaster in the sense that who's going to pass the ball? That's my whole thing. Who's going to pass the ball if that happened?
Well, let's remember when Harden did play for OKC, he was the best distributor on that team. Yeah. And he made them go. So if he could relish some of his stardom and realize that he was granted, Harden's nice regardless. He's great whatever he plays, but the better Harden for that team will be the one, because he's playing with KD, will be the one for OKC.
Yeah, because this brand of basketball ain't that's just not winning anything. Because it's like you got him, and then you got Kyrie. 2 guys that probably dribble 20 seconds out of the 24-second shot clock. And, Durant, he don't need that many dribbles. He don't even need that many shots. Give him 12, 15 shots, and he'll give you 30 because he's going to get to the line. But it'll be an interesting.
But that's also how Harden used to be, though. Mm-hmm. Harden used to be super efficient. Yeah. So he can always go back to that. He was just hiding the Rockets because he was hiding for the Rockets. Like they said, hey, here's the keys to everything. Like
yeah, but them trying to get them, I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. I think he's still under contract for 2 more years.
Oh, okay.
So Houston, they don't have to do anything at all. You'll be like, oh, you want to get traded? That's fine. You still under contract with us. We don't have to. But then you'll have 2 disgruntled. 2 players that aren't happy with the situation, and we know how that always works in the NBA. And also the Hornets and the Wizards are have been inquiring about Russell Westbrook. One proposal I saw was John Wall for Russell Westbrook. It was like, okay, but because they don't know what John Wall is going to be after. Both Achilles injury, walking down the steps. But we don't know how that's going to go. That'll be an interesting move, but I think he needs to go to... I think Russell Westbrook wants to go to a team where he has the ball in his hand a lot more than he did in Houston.
I'll be honest, man. I don't know really where he wants to go. Like, to be honest.
I don't know where he fits. Especially in this day. I don't know where he fits, but... I mean, maybe go to LA, the Lakers or something. They'll find a way.
I seen some people were talking about him in LA. He's a Cali kid, so I'm sure they'll look at it. But I don't know.
Yeah, and then the biggest trade, with Drew Holiday,
my guy,
to the Bucks. The Bucks gave up 3 first-round picks for him. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, Drew Holiday, he's good. He's an upgrade from Eric Bledsoe. Like, gave up 3 first rounds.
Where's Eric Bledsoe?
I believe Eric Bledsoe was in the trade.
He was in the trade?
Yeah, I think he's down to New Orleans.
I was going to say, need.
And they got the Bogdanovich from the Kings, the shooter, so they've given Giannis the perimeter players that he needs, because you can't just try to bulldoze people all the time, especially when they build a wall. So I don't know, it's gonna be an interesting Milwaukee Bucks team coming up. I mean,
you can get all the pieces you want in the world, but if the Freak don't improve on this thing he needs to improve on, then they're still gonna be the same team they were.
Yeah, he need to learn how to just shoot the Get a mid-range game. I hope that's what he's working on this offseason is a mid-range game, because if he has that, he'll be fine. They'll be fine. It's just,
You know what's crazy? They were showing, I was watching on Instagram, they were showing old videos where he was like first playing for Milwaukee, he was hitting threes and stuff. And I guess they was tweaking his shot, and now it's like,
which they didn't even. Sometimes these trainers, they be doing too much.
Way too much. Just because you get paid to help guys with their shot, you feel you got to fix everybody's. Like, no, just let him look funky. You go in and go in.
I think all he needed to do was just learn the game more and add muscle. That was his biggest thing when he came in. He was like a twig, and now, he's like bodybuilder.
Now he has a hard time shooting free throws.
Yeah, terrible. And also with the Celtics and Gordon Hayward, they got his options coming up, so they pushed the deadline to tomorrow.
Oh, they ain't traded him yet?
Nah, they're looking at options right now, but I don't know what's gonna happen. So that's gonna be an interesting move. And the Celtics got 3 first-round picks in this draft, so maybe they'll make a move and surprise us and make some type of move to help this team get over the hump. But as of now, they haven't budged on anything. So.
I thought they already got rid of him.
Oh, no.
Hey, I like Gordon Hayward, just not with the Celtics. Like, I just feel like he just never panned out the way, when you fracture your ankle first game of the season, it just sets you back, and then he's never really been the same just because younger guys been improving.
Yeah, definitely. All right, also, before we go to Athlete's Corner, the Suns acquired Chris Paul, so he's going to be teaming up with Devin Booker. That's going to help Booker a lot. We already talked about this a couple weeks ago. That's going to be very, very beneficial to Devin Booker and to that whole team, because Chris Paul, he just knows how to make people better and put them in right spots. But I was just listening to Knucklehead podcast, and the Suns could have had Jamal Murray teamed up with Booker, but they picked Dragon Bender with that 3rd overall pick.
The dude from overseas?
Yeah.
Like a couple of years, he's like 7 feet?
Yeah.
Oh, it happens.
The sad part is, dude, I don't even think dude's in the league anymore.
But like those two playing together will be tough, just because they kind of take the same amount of, they're kind of similar players, volume shooters. So I don't,
It would have been interesting.
That would be cool.
It would have been very, very interesting.
I don't like how Chris Paul's like turned into like a journeyman. Granted, he's not, because he's valued everywhere he goes, but he's just been playing on a lot of teams.
Yeah, and a lot of even the last 2 years is like the young teams too. So it's like, whatever works for him. So I don't know.
I'm just saying. I just don't like the way it looks. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Like, there should be an organization that could build around Chris Paul still. Like, he's out here bringing guys to the playoffs, killing.
Yeah, you would think so.
At that size and that age, like.
Yeah. So NBA free agency starts Friday, I believe. Free agency starts Friday. The draft is tonight. 2 weeks away from training camp, and then December 22nd is the season opener. So a lot happening in the NBA. It seemed like it just ended. Well, it literally just ended yesterday, but right back into the swing of things. All right. Athlete's Corner. I was at Private Jew Fitness and talked to Zach Calmus, who made his pro debut this past weekend. And yeah, check it out. All right, welcome to another edition of Athlete's Corner, and we are on location at Private Jew's Fitness here in Lynn, and I got Zach with me. He's coming off his first fight as a pro, finished it in 1 round. Zach, man, how'd that feel?
Best feeling in the world. Get in there and take care of business for my gym. And my coach, my manager, Coach Alex, and my manager, Patty. I'm very, very proud of me. And just during these hard times to go in there and fight.
Yeah, tell me about the preparation for this fight. It's very unusual times. We've been in this pandemic for about 7-8 months now. Just for you guys as boxers, what was the preparation like this time? Because I'm sure the training is different with all the safety guidelines, and trying to keep everyone safe and protecting the mask wearing and all that. Just tell me how this preparation was.
It definitely wears on you, preparing during a pandemic, and also though it brings another side of motivation to you, because you're fighting for the people that maybe can't fight. Because wake up and to be a fighter, yeah, it's a hard job. It's a hard way to make a living. And I move furniture too, and that's hard as well. Yeah. But you go in and you give the people something to be inspired by. It makes maybe their day's gonna go a little bit better. They're gonna go try and reach a goal they wouldn't usually reach. You know what I mean? So it's tough time all around the country. So I think it helped me more motivated to fight.
All right. Yeah,
to
tell
lift
me,
up my friends.
Yeah, definitely. Going into this fight, this is your first fight as a pro. Just mentally, how were you able just to, when something like this happens, you're antsy, you're anxious, it's your first professional fight.
Yeah, well.
And just tell me how were you able to stay mentally focused?
I was able to stay mentally focused because I had a job to do, and I had to do it. And for me to complete that job was more important than any type of fear or butterflies that I was having at the time. But my feelings didn't matter because I wasn't fighting for me. I was fighting for my fiance and my dad and my coach and my friends. I'm fighting for the community and for the North Shore and for Gloucester and for Lynn. And I just did it for that reason. So it was so much more. It was friends, family. It was really so much more than just me.
Yeah.
So how I felt about it didn't even matter. I was gonna go in there and take care of business regardless.
And you did take care of business doing it in one round. Just talk about that, just getting it out in one round. It's so hard for fighters to do that.
I got big hands. I hit really hard, and I move furniture. So I'm moving 750-pound pianos around on the daily. I'm moving gun safes, and I'm moving full houses, table ladders, and chairs. So I'm really strong. So when I got in there, and I just knew I could take them, so I got it done quick.
What did you see from your opponent that you knew you could cut? This could be a quick one.
Just the experience, having an amateur career, having 25 or so fights, a Golden Glove title, and fighting at the level that I fought at. A lot of the experience that I gained from fighting in the amateurs for 9 to 10 years definitely played out in the professionals. You know what I mean? I felt unstoppable when I started letting my hands go. And I saw everybody's there and works hard. But bought tickets to see me put on a show, so it just motivated me further. I was in the zone.
Yeah, okay.
No one could beat me when I got up there. I felt unstoppable.
Yeah, what was the fight? Was this in New Hampshire?
It was in New Hampshire, in Derry. It was in Derry, Granite Chin Boxing Promotions.
Okay.
And it was on Saturday.
Okay, yeah, because New Hampshire they kind of have different guidelines as far as safety wise, so they were able to have fans, people in attendance.
I mean, a lot of shows are going digital now, digital platform, and I respect that, and I'm not against it. But I wanted my debut to be in front of my family and friends because I'm fighting for them too. You know what I mean? So it's not just a win for me; it's a win for the city of Lynn. It's a win for my gym. It's a win for my teammates and my coach and my manager. So we all won. It's only me in the ring, but it takes a family.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely, because there's so much that goes into just, the fight's the easy part. Yeah. The fight's the easy part, but all the work beforehand.
It really was the easy part, and this time especially because the way I got ready for this fight, I just sparred. I didn't really do much running. I didn't do much biking. I didn't do a lot of cardio. I didn't. I'll be honest, I'm fat right now. From the COVID, I'm like 272. That's the heaviest I've fought at. But I wasn't worried because I've been sparring all over the region before they shut down Maine and they shut down a couple of states. I have great sparring partners between Steve Rucosa, he's number 18 in the whole country. Steve is just a bank of knowledge. He's a serious fighter, and he hits really hard. So going over to Grealish and sparring with him in Dorchester. I've been sparring with Justin Wolf, who is a champion, and he's from Maine. And I've been sparring with Chris Sorrow, and he's a bare knuckle Golden Glove champion. So I've just had like the best sparring, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've seen you, because the first time I saw you fight, I think it was the King of the Ring. The King of the Ring.
I fought a tough kid at Tim Hatfield.
Yeah, and that was the first time. That was the first time I saw you fight, and then I saw all the work that you were putting in.
Before it, it's brutal.
Before that and after that, all the work that you were putting in. So
it's
just
hard,
for you to
it's
get
hard
to
going
that
from the truck to the ring, and then back to the truck in the morning, and then back to the ring. It's just brutal. It's pulling. It's pressing. It's hard. It's loading the whole house from the basement, first floor, second floor, third floor, attic, putting it in a 30-foot truck, 26-foot truck, whatever it is, or bigger. I've done bigger, and then bring it to the drop-off location and bringing everything in. So the offload always goes quicker than the onload, but it's just a heck of a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Now, where you going? What's next for you? You've got this one out the way. So what's next? Who are you looking at?
Just like the Patriots, I try to focus on the next thing very quickly. Like the fight was Saturday. I took my Sunday, Monday to recoup a little bit, and now I'm back in the gym. And I've been here for a couple of hours, and it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to fight again as soon as possible. I didn't take any damage, so.
All right. Yeah, man.
Even if I did, I'd still fight. It's been a tough road. Didn't get here overnight.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. It took hard work.
Yeah, definitely. But hey, you got that first victory down as a professional. I'm sure there's more victories waiting for you.
I'm gonna be fighting for another 20 years.
All right, man. Hey, if you got social media, plug it for the people. Let them know where they can find you if you got social media.
You can find me at Zach Calmus the Shark on Instagram, and Zach Calmus on Facebook, Shark Attack, Cobra Shark. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for you, and you, and you, and you. All you. You know that. It's not easy to put on a boxing show.
Yeah.
We prepare to brutalize ourselves for your entertainment. So it's a very unselfish trade.
Yeah. And lastly, before we go, what did you think of the Terrence Crawford match over the weekend?
What was it?
Terrence Crawford match over
Terrence
the weekend.
Crawford? I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
Because I was fighting.
Oh, you was fighting. Oh, yeah, you must have been. I saw the highlights.
I was occupied.
He was occupied.
The Shark was occupied.
All right, hopefully we'll see him on ESPN or HBO or Showtime Boxing one day. So
he's gonna see me there for sure. Very soon.
Definitely, you guys. Athletes Corner. We here. Private Jewels Fitness. You guys have a good one. Wow. And we are back. All right, let's go around the world of sports. All right, so Nick Foles, he got injured on Monday night in their loss to the Vikings. The offense put up 0 points. They got a special teams touchdown. That was about it. But they looked horrible.
Well, they can't get. There's been weeks since they even sniffed the end zone.
Yeah, it's. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know that whole. Yeah,
they about to throw us in there.
The whole entire Bears organization is they went from a couple years ago. I think it was 2 years ago when Trubisky was playing well, the defense was playing well, they made the playoffs. It was they might have something. And then
they got what's his name? What's his name? The guy that got what's his Khalil Mack.
Oh yeah, his first
Mack,
year.
They played well.
Yeah, they were playing well. They made the playoffs, and kicker misses a field goal to win the game, and then ever since that, it's just been downhill for the Bears. So, good luck, Nick Foles. I mean, you got your money, so you might have to consider something. Consider your career. And Nick Foles' old team, the Eagles, that the NFC East should be excommunicated from the league. The Eagles, there's been talks about what's going to happen with the quarterback and what's going to happen with the coach. The quarterback, they're stuck with the quarterback. They gave him that contract. But the head coach, this dude, some of his in-game decisions, Carson Wentz has been getting a lot of the blame, which is rightfully so. You're the quarterback. You're going to get the blame regardless, even if it's not your fault. You're still going to get the majority of the blame. But nobody has taken a look at the head coach, who's just been, his play calling has been questionable. You go for 2 when you really don't need to go for 2. They scored a touchdown and a field goal makes it a 3-point game, and then they go for 2. They don't get the 2. And it's just a whole lot of questionable decisions, personnel decisions. And it's just dude, that Super Bowl you got really is saving you from criticism right now, and your quarterback's up and down play is saving you from criticism, because this was I know if that's what was over here, would the coach be getting torn apart? And it's surprising too that it's Philadelphia, because Philadelphia talk radio, they're almost as worse as Boston talk radio.
You just said it. He won a ring, so they kind of just you got a Super Bowl coach. I'm sure he has a clue, but not realizing. Yeah. And honestly, man, just certain coaches get certain leeways. I guess I'll be honest. I don't really care. Just because, like, we're in Massachusetts and that's Philadelphia.
Yeah.
My cousin Sam Evans got to deal with that over there.
All right, Trevor Lawrence is making his return Saturday against Florida State. You know, they lost to
Notre Dame?
Notre Dame. I watched like some of that game.
Is Notre Dame that good?
Apparently.
Oh, no, they had no trouble.
Yeah.
So, it don't even matter. Like,
it went to overtime too. So.
Oh, you go to overtime with no Trevor?
Yeah.
You don't want to see Trevor.
Yeah. He'll be back. He's back. He says he feels great. So we'll see how he looks because we know all the post-COVID stuff. Some players, it took them a while just to start playing like their normal self. So we'll see if this has any effect on him. Michigan. Oh my goodness. They got blown out 49-11, worst loss in school history, and I don't know how Jim Harbaugh still has a job right now.
He won't. He
should have been fired Monday.
I won't be surprised if they start talking to Charles Woodson.
The deal. They need something because it's bad over there. It's getting bad. I saw some stat that said from 97 to like 2008, they had about 28 All-Americans and a bunch of guys going in the top half of the NFL draft. They had top receivers. And from 2008 to now, they've had only 11. Like, it's gotten bad over there.
Yeah, somebody has to go change the coaching. It might be an ex-Heisman Trophy winner by the name of Woodson. I don't know if Woodson's coaching, but
yeah.
I need to let him know.
Or they could try to steal the head coach from Stanford. He's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, steal somebody's head coach. You got the money. Terrence Crawford, he defeated Kell Brook in 4 rounds on Sunday. Now everybody is clamoring for Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. That's the fight they want. Spence Jr. got a fight December 5th against Danny Garcia. He wins that fight, then maybe they'll start discussions with that fight. But that's the fight in boxing that everybody wants to see, Spence and Crawford.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I like both Crawford and Spence. I don't think I've seen the whole... Did I watch the fight? It was on ESPN, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I did watch the fight. Yeah, it was a whooping.
Yeah.
It wasn't much to watch, but that's why I kind of forgot I watched it because it wasn't much to watch. Like,
yeah, and there'll be a lot of money to make on that one because those two guys draw big crowds. Wichita State head coach Greg Marshall resigned, and the school settled with him for $7.75 million. This guy was punching players. He was choking players, punching assistant coaches, being rude to staff and everything. And
Time on. I understand the whole being rude to staff. That's just an emotion that happens. But, like, you punching people and you choking players, your players are like 6'6", 6'9", 6'2". They let you choke them?
Some of these coaches are out of control because they're forgetting these aren't your kids. You're dealing with other people's kids. You can't. If I let my son go, I put my son in somebody's hands. I'm like, all right, he's yours. Coach him up, and then I get a call. Yo, coach is choking me. I'm coming to school. Like, what?
That's what I mean. Like, my freshman year of college, Mike Clancy, one of the greatest coaches I ever played for. He actually played at Fairfield. His brother played at Villanova when they beat Georgetown.
Yeah.
We used to get into little conversations, arguments and all that, only because he was trying to make me a better player.
Yeah.
Trying to help me understand the point guard position because I always played the 2.
Yeah.
But, like, you know what I mean? Like, that whole, like, you not realize that you're still arguing with a young man or a young kid, basically, compared to your age. You gotta understand that you gotta be a bigger person at the end of the day. No matter how crazy that player is or how much they're talking wild, you gotta be the bigger person.
Don't be putting your hands on players. It's that easy.
But the only issue with college, they're all grown men to the certain extent. So when that's a slippery one because my sophomore, junior, and senior year, me and my coach, we didn't get into it physically, but I wouldn't have mind to. But you know what I mean. So it's one of them things. Like it's a weird situation.
As a head coach, you're the adult in the room. You've lived longer.
Exactly.
Some of these kids, some of these college players, they're still trying to figure things out. So it's like, dude, why are you putting your hands on him? The Chiefs signed DeAndre Baker. Remember DeAndre Baker? He got arrested because he allegedly robbed a house party in Miami. Him and another DB, Quentin Dunbar. They allegedly. So the charges were dropped. I mean, witnesses weren't cooperating. Apparently, it was just all a bunch of BS. So he got picked up by the Chiefs after that he was released by the Giants. He got picked up for him. So kudos to him. And also Lynn Classical, they will no longer be in the Northeastern Conference. They're going to be joining the Greater Boston League. And I think they're trying to have it so that now all they're waiting for is the NEC because they want to do it next year. They want to move to the conference next year, but they still have to. Technically, they still have to be in the NEC for another 2 years, but they're trying to move the process so they could start playing that conference next year. So they'll wait to see that, and the NEC might hate and just be like, "Nah, y'all staying here."
I heard. Oh, I won't say nothing. I got the English jacket on.
All right. Let's go to top 10, and then we will come back and give our game picks, and it'll be a wrap. All right, and we are back. Yo, it wasn't a good weekend for you.
No,
as far as picking games.
Right.
it was. I had a bad week last week. You had a bad one this week. So you went 5-9 You went 5-9 over this weekend. I went 9-5. A lot of the games we both had to pick the right ones. It was just certain ones. So
man, I've been losing. Man, the team that's been losing shouldn't have been losing. That's all that is. Like Dolphins winning games. Like, come on, bro. Like that's my whole point. Like this year is ridiculous.
All right, before we pick up, before we go to a game picks, I just have one more update. This is from the NEC, so they're meeting. This is from the MIA, so they're meeting and trying to figure out stuff for winter sports guidelines. So one of the guys that's covering it. So I saw this tweet. Some of the modifications that were discussed. You ready for this?
Yeah, man.
Masks, no jump ball, mask breaks at the 4-minute mark of each quarter, no under the basket plays, all sideline. A change in how many players can rebound on free throws and 6 feet of separation on inbound plays.
You can't even run. Out of pass play. What?
Yeah. Might as well not even play if you're gonna put all these modifications.
Then you gotta. So you basically giving kids TV mass timeouts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Minutes. Then they have commercial break music while they fixing their mask. And, we code girls, so you gotta put lip gloss and extra shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh man. Yeah. Lip gloss gonna be popping under that mask.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
This is too like. And like I said, like the boys gonna be cool about how I get a little break. Our girls, oh man. They gotta fix their old hairdo.
Oh my god! Oh, yeah, there's a lot, and I ain't even read about some of the other sports like wrestling and all that stuff.
You can't even have wrestling. Dude's all humping them like all up on them. I see one meme. Bro, wrestling is disrespectful. Whole nut sackles on dude and like, bro, like, come on, man. There's no reason why we even need to be in this position.
Yeah.
Wrestling, like, why, like, say Twister.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. All right, so we are week number 11 game picks. We will start with Thursday night football. Arizona, they are traveling to Seattle.
Man, I got this dude getting his just due. He getting that rematch, right?
Wilson?
Yeah, Wilson gonna win there. I got Wilson, man. I got the Seahawks.
The Cardinals won the first matchup in overtime. Yeah, a crazy matchup.
Seahawks.
I'm going with the Cardinals again. They just
you a hater.
the Seahawks. You know, Westbrook. I keep calling him Westbrook. Wilson with the turnover is kind of concerning. Eagles and Browns.
I got the Browns, man.
I might as well pick the Browns because from what I see with the Eagles, yeah, and the Browns, you know, their offense is supposed to be better without Odell, and yeah. Falcons Saints in New Orleans.
I'm always going with the Saints over the Falcons.
I'm gonna pick the Falcons. I'll tell you what, they've actually been playing well.
They have
the past couple of games.
I can't pick them.
I think it's because of the black head coach.
Yeah, it might be a little flavor.
Bengals in Washington. This is in Washington.
Burrow. Bengals.
You know, Burrow.
You gotta get me one.
I'm gonna go with Washington with this one. I'm gonna go with Washington. Alex Smith actually played really well. Lions at Carolina.
I'm gonna go with the Panthers, man.
With the Panthers?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
I don't know if Teddy's playing, but I'm still gonna go with the Panthers because the Lions don't play well on the road. Steelers look to go 10-0 against the Jags. Steelers, yeah, I'll pick the Steelers until they lose.
Yeah.
Titans, Ravens, this is going to be a good one.
I got the Titans, man.
This is in Baltimore, so I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Kill me with that. Ain't no home field today. It's COVID.
Patriots, Texans.
Pats, man.
Pats looking to go 3-3. They'll be 5-5, right at 500. Dolphins and Broncos.
You know what, Miami? Y'all better win.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins, too, because I don't like what I've seen from the Broncos, especially from their quarterback. Jets, Chargers in L.A.
Man, I got Herbert getting busy with the Chargers, man.
I agree. Chargers. Game of the week. This is going to be a good one. Packers versus Colts in Indianapolis.
Packers.
You got Packers?
Yeah.
I'm going with the Colts offensively and defensively. I like how they've been doing it. You know, I don't like Phillip Rivers that much, but that's another story. Cowboys, Vikings.
The Vikings.
Yeah, it's been the Dalvin Cook show. You know, I think he leads the league in rushing right now. They've just put the offense on him, and he's been delivering. Raiders and Chargers. There's a little tense going on in here.
Raiders and Chiefs.
I said, what did I say, Chargers?
Yeah.
Raiders and Chiefs, my bad.
I'm going with the Raiders, man.
Hey, the Raiders looking to sweep the Chiefs in the season.
I'm going with the Raiders.
The Chiefs are a little upset because the Raiders did a circling around the parking lot, a victory lap after their last victory.
Come on, I didn't know all this before I picked my team.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. You're still rocking with the silver and black.
Raiders, I love y'all, but I'm going with the Chiefs. Monday Night Football, Rams at Bucks.
I got the Rams.
You got the Rams. I want to say the Rams. Their defense has been playing flawless. I just don't trust their quarterback like that. Jared Goff, he's been costing them games. They could easily be 7-2, 8-1. So with that, I will go with the Bucks. And that's it for us, folks. I mean, you know the routine. Mr. Burton 23, Instagram, Mukala K, Instagram, LCTV After the Whistle, Instagram, Lynn Community Television, Facebook, and make sure I ain't got nothing to say, but
wash your hands.
Wash your hands, please. Wash your hands.
Wear your mask.
Yeah, please wear your mask. Like, I got mine, so I'm gonna wear my mask because I'm about to step out.
I got my ski mask in the whip.
I'm about to step out. I'm about to scare some clerks. Have a good one. We out of here. Take it easy.